So ready right now. All right, we're live. Who will
Hi,
show up?
hi.
No one knows except we'll find out. I'll find out. I don't know. I got the chat on me. Happy Saturday afternoon for you, evening for me. Yay, time differences.
Yeah,
Tifa,
right?
what are you doing? Tifa, honey. Yes, honey. I'm talking to you. Go lay down, honey. You're getting cat adventures in this episode. Yeah, hi. Hey, baby. Okay. Welcome to another episode of Cosplay Bites, the show about conventions, cosplay, and all the nerdy bits and bytes. I am very. I'm darting to my cat because she's now acting weird. Oh no! Is it the new
They always
food?
know. They always know when to act up.
Yeah, I finally got her new food because it's been ages. Because finally whittling down on the dry food bag that I've had since God knows when. So I finally got her wet food because she deserves it, and now I'm making more money. Uh, um, I'm very happy to have Anya Braddock on for this episode. Hi.
Hi. Hi. It me.
It you. We've been trying to do this for a little bit, for a hot minute, and literal
My.
sickness was preventing.
Oh my gosh.
Not just
Yeah.
earlier, but even
Oh
the
my
last week
god.
when we tried. Yeah.
I had like the worst yet quickest case of either tonsillitis or tonsil stones. It was intense. I like could not even open my mouth to drink water. It was getting bad.
Oh no.
Yeah, there was no way I could talk.
Oh yeah. Well, that totally makes sense then. So where do I start? Well, um, continuing on my little fun road to episode 100 this year. This is 94, so slowly but
6 more to
surely.
go.
Yeah, 6 more to go. 6 more to go, but this is most likely the last one before I move, so that's fine.
It's a final countdown. Ba-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
So yeah, I guess for this episode, because I don't even know if you'd want to rehash, because we did a video interview years ago, back when I still had my blog.
You take it away, man.
So
All up to you.
we can, because we could do that, and this is more of like a I mean, I got in my notes saying catch up episode, because you've been doing multiple cons.
Oh my gosh, so much.
For like the past several months.
Very
and
tired.
Yeah, like just following your adventures, like either you were guesting or you were mostly helping out vending with Sleepi, which we can talk about that later.
Yeah, totally.
But I guess if this is the first time people are hearing about you, give me your cosplayer content creator pitch.
My lowdown?
Yeah, like who the hell are you?
So I started cosplaying when I was like legitimately like 14 or 15. And it kind of just became this passion of mine that just never really stopped. And it navigated itself from all handmade costumes and doing things like competitions for cosplay, craftsmanship judging, assisting with running cosplay divisions for conventions, to just doing social media and cosplay work. And that journey has taken me into more of the lewd sphere of cosplay. But I'm always really big on making sure that who I am and things I enjoy shine through. So I'm big into memes. I'm a big memester. So not everything is beautifully lewd is all I'm gonna say. Some things are cursed, and that is just the way I like it.
I'm like drinking my coffee over here. Okay.
Oh, same.
Oh yeah. Also, side note, happy Free Comic Book Day.
Is that today?
It's today.
Oh, snap! I always miss Free Comic Book Day. I swear, ever since I stopped living with my old roommate Paul, I forget when it is.
It's always the first Saturday of May.
First Saturday of May. Good to know.
Yeah.
So, easy to remember then. Yeah. And happy Revenge of the 6th, by the way.
Revenge of the...
It is just a double whammy.
Like, so you get May the 4th.
Well, okay, so you have May the 4th, right?
Yeah.
And then Revenge of the 6th, like Revenge of the Sith. And then if you really want to get into it, some of the Star Wars fans are just starting to say that May, like the whole month of May, because Star Wars is so big at this point, should just be a celebration, and it should be called This is the May. Which I like.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Gives you less pressure that everything you want to celebrate about Star Wars should be on one of 2 days, you know?
Yeah, or you could just go, knowing you and what you like, you could just go full meme and just be like, happy Star Wars month, but also happy NSYNC month, because it's gonna be May.
It should.
I don't know. God. Like my second cup of coffee, I just feel the need to down it. Shit. What did I get? Oh, well, so, yeah, I picked up my three comics.
Nice.
That was the limit for my shop. Got through 2 of them. One was a really cute, well, okay, so there's a Ninja Turtles comic I picked up. And then there was a really cute, like, Viz Media manga of a double feature of, apparently there's an Animal Crossing New Horizons manga now.
That makes sense.
As well as a Kirby one.
Yeah.
And I got a DC Comics one, mostly previewing their upcoming, like, summer event.
Nice.
Which I will mostly be checking out tie-in wise, because Nightwing's getting roped into it. So.
Oh, that's your boy.
That's my boy. Yeah, I'm just so happy that he is becoming such a huge part of the DC universe now. Like, they are like legitimately recognizing it.
After all these years.
In the comics, yeah. Well, based on the last event that they had, and that essentially the Justice League are taking a hiatus. They got to refigure out their mission. Their, like, overall mission, vision statement, whatever the fuck. But so then that leaves that Dick is not only the heart of the DC universe, but also that the Titans are going to step up as the premier de facto superhero squad for DC. And so they got a new series coming out in May, and I'm like, do I follow it or not? I don't know. Because yeah, you like your Jason Todd. That's your boy.
Yeah, I'm a big old Jason Todd lover when it comes to the Robins.
Yeah. You haven't looted him yet, or cosplayed as him yet.
No, cause it's like I'm in love with him. I just want to be his love interest. So I've cosplayed, you know, other love interest of his, but
right. Oh my god.
It's like Bucky. I don't want to be him. I want to be with him.
Yeah, and other questionable things that I've seen.
Listen.
Well, so I guess we could start with. So how many cons have you been to, like, throughout, like, this year and last year? Like, you've been to, like, a bunch so far, right?
Last year I didn't do many cons, to be honest with you. I think I really only did AX, Anime NYC, and then Saboten.
Okay.
Because I moved out to Phoenix from LA.
Right.
And I spent most of the time, I did go places, but I did more like friend trips than conventions.
Right.
And then at Anime NYC, I worked with a company that's run by Oh My Jean Marie and Dave Yang. It's called Sleepi. It's like a Japanese apparel, and well, I wouldn't say Japanese apparel. I would say like Asian and anime focused brand, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
And I had an amazing time working with them at Anime NYC, and they asked if I'd be up for doing a couple more cons with them that year, and it's just kind of flourished into this beautiful relationship where if there's a con that I can help them out at, that I go and I help them, but then I also have like the chance to be able to do my own costumes, sell my own prints, and meet people, which is like my favorite part of convention. So it really feels like I'm getting the chance to make new friends and meet like fans and whatnot. And
sure,
that personal face-to-face interaction, especially after 2020, is just something that I have so desperately missed out on. And it's so nice being back in the convention sphere of like my people.
right?
You know what I mean?
Oh my god! I was like, despite the only hiccup being that at the time before I had a bunch of life changes happening, where I booked the hotel for PAX East when I went last month. No, in May. No, March. Ah, what's time?
Right?
It's March. It was in March.
We're already almost halfway through the year. It's crazy.
Oh my god.
Time.
Well, basically,
by.
the convention to my hotel, it was a 30-minute walk.
Okay, not bad. Yeah.
No, well, my feet did not like me that weekend.
Well, it's a 30-minute walk each way and all the walking around at the convention. That's where you get screwed.
Yeah. I mean, people were like, why didn't you just take an Uber? It's like, no.
I was going to say, why not just take one of those little scooters? Do they not have the scooters in the city?
No, well, I mean, what I could have done is that they had a shuttle go back and forth. I could have done
that. This sounds like a James problem. They had a shuttle.
It's a me problem. I only did the shuttle once. So, lesson learned, where for next year, I will both stay till Monday and book a closer hotel. Because
one thing that I feel like a lot of people highly undervalue when it comes to conventions, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm not saying pay the exorbitant fee of being on location, but you definitely want to be close to the location as much as possible. Like for AX, for example, it's in Los Angeles. It's at the Los Angeles Convention Center downtown. Now, a lot of those downtown hotels, especially because that convention specifically always tries to be on July 4th, whenever that is, even if it's a random Monday, Tuesday, like it is this year. Don't get me started. But so it's always a lot pricier because it's a 4th of July weekend in a large city. That is one of those conventions that truthfully you're going to want to be as close to the convention center as possible. We last year stayed closer to Hollywood. I'm going to be honest with you. That tiny 10-mile drive in LA is like 30 minutes each way. If you want to do an Uber, depending on the day, or if there's another concert, God forbid there's something at the Hollywood Bowl, that's like an $80 each way Uber. You know what I mean? So it's crazy, like how much hotel location can really factor into you having a good weekend at a convention or not.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much resort to like having my tax return be my trip money, because that's
I mean, that's a great way to use a tax return, though. A little vacay for yourself.
Well, especially because the last couple of times I've been to PAX East, I've been very fortunate, lucky enough to get a media badge. So that's
nice. Yeah,
I don't have to pay for a badge. So it's only an hour and a half train ride from Rhode Island into Boston. So it's not that far, like of a drive to the train station.
Yeah.
But no, because not this year, but the previous year, 2022. I almost said 2021, but no, 2022 is a year ago. The hotel I stayed at was legitimately across the street from the convention center.
Oh man, nice.
And it was not that bad price-wise from what I remember. And it was just, I tried to do the same hotel again, and the price got jacked up. So I'm almost half wondering, like, once the dates for this next PAX get revealed, do I just book the hotel right then and there?
I mean, most of them have cancellation policies. That's what some of, like, my friends and I do, is we'll book, like, multiple. Like, we have, I think, right now for AX, technically 3 different hotel rooms at 3 different hotels, and there's, like, a cancellation policy. Right. So we're just trying to figure out how many people we want to stay with, if we want to just hold the multiple rooms and just, like, lend them out to other friends. Yeah. Or just do a price versus location comparison once it gets closer and we all know, like, a better budget, since a lot of us are artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, where do we go from here? Well, so what was your last... Okay, so not so much last year, like you said, but this year, from what I've seen, you've gone to a lot of conventions, whether they've been either out of state or somewhat local.
Yeah, so let's see. This year I've done IkiCon. That was out in Texas. That was in January. And then I went to Colorado with friends. That was a friend trip, but that was a content trip as well. That's when I did the giant snow animal group. And I also got a chance to shoot some cryo babes with Holly Wolf and Oddfell. That was a lot of fun. We did a cute little Mondstadt wine series with Paul Hillier. I'm so sorry, Paul, if I'm butchering your last name right now. And then we shot, like, a huge Genshin group, which was a lot of fun. The snow animals was even bigger, and that was a ton more fun because we really just got to flex everyone's own creativity and style. Like, everyone got to make their own animal design, and it just kind of all came together. Yeah. And then let's see, that takes us into March. Did I do anything in March? Oh my god, I feel like I'm going crazy. I did SumiCon out in Vegas, and then on the way back from SumiCon, I found out about WeebCon. I wasn't even supposed to be going to that, and found out it was happening the day after I left. And so I just, like, looked at prices of if I moved my flight, and I actually saved money moving my flight to stay for the con. They refunded me $20. And so I just, like, reached out to friends, and I was like, hey, like, does anyone have an extra hotel space I can crash in, or a badge? Like, I will work. I'm just kind of going because, like, a bunch of friends were asking. It's Sumi if I was going, and I thankfully found some friends who had a spare room space. And originally they didn't want any help at their booth, and then when the con opened day 1, they quickly were like, oh wait, shit, maybe we could use your help. And I was like, I'm here, like, that's why I wanted to come, was just to help friends and just to say hi. And ended up working with them the entire time. That group is Express Skins and Weeb Stop. Express Skins is run by Ed and Sophia, and they are amazing. They have 1,000 stickers. They do, like, dust mats, prints, and then they also do, like, car wraps. You know, like, if you want, like, your favorite anime waifu on your car, they're really good with that. Yeah. And so I worked with them. They were a ton of fun. And then my next convention coming up will be Anime Central here in almost like a week and a half. That'll be out at Rosemont in Chicago. It's actually like an OG Midwest con for me, one of, like, the first that I used to go to. So I'm really excited to see all my Midwest friends.
Yeah, I think, 'cause I believe you're going with Momo Carino cosplay, right?
I am. Yeah, so my best friend Momo Carino has been getting more and more into Artist Alley because they are an amazing artist. I don't want to say like on the DL, but she kind of just recently started really, like, dipping her toes into it more in the sense of, like, what if I sold art prints and stickers?
She's been going ham from what I've been seeing online. Like, good Lord. Good for her.
No, I love it because like, drawing has always been something. When her and I were in college together, and her and I also did the Disney college program together, like, when she would be in class, like, she would just be drawing up these, like, perfect 1-for-1s of, like, Disney princesses and stuff. Ooh. And, like, everyone would always be like, oh my god, you're so great. And, like, something she's always been really, really good at is doing, like a Pokemon or a Neopet or an animal in, like, a Disney style. Really fucking good at knowing how to do that. And, like, I've always been like, why is this not something you do, you know? And she started, like, slowly dipping her toes into it. So I've been all for helping and supporting that. And she applied for Anime Central's Artist Alley, and it's a lottery. Fun fact: there are people who have been waiting many years to get in. They pretty much you submit it, and they give you your submission like a number, and they just pull numbers from a hat. And her first time submitting got pulled, and so she's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I can't say no to this. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta do this."
Right.
And I was looking into it, and I knew I wanted to visit. My family is all Midwest. I knew I wanted to visit them for Mother's Day. And I just messaged her and was like, "Hey, what if I ended up just staying the week and then just met you in Chicago and helped you out at Anime Central?" So that's what I'll be doing. And then I'll fly back. I'll have 6 days. And then I'll fly to Dallas for ACON.
Okay.
Come back, have 3 weeks, and then Anime Expo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after Anime Expo, debating Ichi Expo out in Denver. Might end up doing that one. Because a good friend of mine, Kate, is guesting there. And I was debating it, and she was like, "Come, stay with me." And I'm like, "Oh my god, I could see more of Kate." So that's just gonna come down to like if I end up getting another gig or like flight prices. If I don't do that, I know that Final Fantasy 14 Fan Fest is the same weekend in Vegas, and I have a bunch of friends coming all over for that one, so I might just pop up to Vegas to say hi. Then
Fan Fest, yeah.
I haven't gotten everything finalized for it, but I do know that I will be a guest at Nishi Fest in October, so I'm really excited for that. And then most likely we'll be at Anime NYC, hopefully at Hallmat. I think that's my full year. God, if there's more that's added on, I'm gonna cry.
Oh my god, I'm just like,
it's like a con a month.
Yeah, you're like listing them off. I was like, I didn't even like try to count.
I know, and you were like, how many do you have? I was like, are you ready for this list? Because literally after ASEN is when it really kicks off. Because even though I have that 3-week gap between ACON and AX, that 3-week gap is building the big things I want to build for AX. You know what I mean? Because I've got some big plans.
It's cosplay crunch time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like at the last of this coffee in me. Yeah. I've been trying to get Momo on the podcast for a while, but she's just been slammed. So.
Oh yeah, she's currently vending this weekend with a group at a local Arizona convention.
Yeah, so I'm hoping maybe within a couple of months or something we try to work stuff out.
Oh yeah, totally.
Well, so from what I'm hearing, aside from Anime NYC, you gotta hit up the East Coast more.
Well, I used to hit up the East Coast when I was Midwest. Now that I'm more out west, I've just been doing Western conventions more. It's just easier. Yeah. And there's so many of them out here. It's kind of crazy. It is my goal to try and hit some more East Coast cons. I think that'll just come down to either what Sleepi's doing or what kind of gigs I can get to get out that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I would love to be able to attempt to do MagFest next year. That has been on my bucket list of conventions. I've heard it's phenomenal in the way of it's 24-hour arcade, it's music, but also apparently it's incredibly diverse and very open to a queer audience, which I love to hear. So that would be an East Coast one that I would really want to try for next year. My friends are trying to get me out to Dragon Con this year. I love you all. Please don't hate me. I doubt it's happening. It's just so expensive.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's really just PAX East. Not even New York Comic Con anymore, because I don't have a surefire way to, like... Well, maybe now I can get a hotel on my own, because I would always do to stay with family, but...
Right.
I still do have some more family in New York, so... Money. I gotta be... With my move coming up, I gotta be good.
Where's that ABBA song when we need it? Money, money, money.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna like half joke, half say. I think they just announced Ahmed Best as a guest at Rhode Island Comic Con in November, and I'm going to that for one day with my best. friend.
I hope that works. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Mainly because I just want to get some comics graded. That's really the reason I'm going.
Nice.
Yeah, I got two. I got very lucky and got like 2 super cool rare variants of Nightwing's 100th issue. So
Oh heck yeah.
they've still been bagged. I've never opened them, and my friend got me framed for them. So they're like bagged up, but then also locked in a frame for the time being.
Hey. Can't diminish the value.
No. And then I'll get them graded, and then they're just going to be nice hanged up pieces in my new place. So I'm excited about that.
Heck yeah.
Well, so this is actually something. Well,
throw it on me.
Hit
me with a big question. Let's go.
Sure. Well, cause it no, maybe it is jealousy for me. Cause like, you know, I have this. I got the podcast. You know, I've been getting opportunities for the most part to either go to cons as a member of the media and like have game developer interviews at PAX East, and like so far as to a point where maybe you saw me post about it, but the people that made the Coffee Talk game,
yeah, I remember.
They immortalized me in their sequel that they just put out, where they're a legitimate drink named after me.
That's so cute.
Yeah, but I think it kind of kicked up a notch for me when I was seeing posts and photos about a bunch of people that we both know in the cosplay space, and just a lot of people where they went to Creator Clash out in Texas. And I'm just mostly the jealousy of like, I just wish I knew more cool people or got opportunities. So then, like, when I listen to you talk about, basically what I'm getting at is, how do you handle or manage in doing networking for your content creation so well, from what I can see?
Yeah, no, sorry. I think I got a little lost in the question, but that's totally fine. So you're referencing like a missed opportunity of you wanting to go to something like Creator Clash and basically advice on how one would take steps to getting to something like that?
I mean, not so much Creator Clash, although that would be kind of dope. Do like a boxing match, that'd be kind of hilarious. But just, I don't know. I mean, like, well, like you even reached out and in wanting to help, like, like me sending you like my resume to pass around for the people at cons that you go to when you help out, especially with like Sleepi and whatnot. Just because I'm getting more outgoing-ish, but I'm still very shy and reserved. So I'm not the best at networking at cons.
I think the personal anxiety that comes along with kind of being more introverted or shy is something that is kind of exactly like the direct adversary to something such as networking, right? Where you're required to be as outgoing as you can be.
Yeah.
I think it's all about like knowing your own personal limitations. If you put yourself in a situation that's going to make you feel uncomfortable, it's going to come across uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like if networking in a large group is not for you, that's totally fine. Don't try and network in large groups. Try and network one-on-one, or like pulling someone aside or something like that. I in doing the Disney College program back when I was in, obviously, college, I took a class on networking and learned a lot of really great skills. I think when it comes to like a business style networking, it's really important to have a clean and concise elevator pitch. The idea is that if you were to meet someone on an elevator that you wanted to network with or introduce yourself to, knowing exactly how to, within that short amount of like a 30-second time frame, be able to not only describe yourself, but do it in a way that sets you apart from the hundreds of other people who are also just like you in the same field. But concise enough that you're not taking up someone's time. So that's always like a great first step. My big thing when it comes to networking is networking can happen 24/7. I think a lot of people think that it has to only ever be professional. And there are definitely those who win and strive in that way of doing only professional to professional networking. For me personally, every person I meet in my head is always an opportunity. And when I say that, I don't want you to view that as when I meet people, I am only viewing it as how they can benefit me. I mean it
how
in the
you can
exact,
use them to your benefit only. Yeah.
I mean it in the exact opposite. How can I benefit them? Whether it's someone that I know in my network, like for example, having taken your resume, you're not the only friend's resume that I have. Anytime I've ever seen a friend struggle with any sort of career or anything, I always tell them to send me their resume, because when I meet new people and they'll tell me what they're passionate about, in my head, I'm such a fixer. I'm always like, how could I help? Is there someone I know that does 3D printing? Is there someone I know that does design that I could link this person with? Because I'm all about the idea that there's room enough at the table for everyone to eat, if that makes sense. I think that together we can all grow and create more and better things that we're passionate about. And so it's kind of just viewing every single opportunity, every single person that you're meeting, never excluding someone ever. It doesn't matter how quote unquote big or small they are. You never know what someone's skills could be, who they know, what knowledge they could share with you. I mean, I think one of my favorite networking stories I probably have is Anime Expo last year, for example. We went to an after party. And not to out myself, I was kind of flirting with the bartender low-key. And I was passing them Shrek stickers all night, and they were loving it. And so when I went up to the bar, he saw me and was going to take my drink order first, having me cut the girl that was next to me. And that's not something that I stand for. So I gave him my order, and I said, and then I cut this woman next to me. I'll get whatever her order is as well. And he was like, oh, okay, that's nice of you. And he turns to the girl and is like, what will you have? And she orders like 4 drinks. And he laughs and looks at me and is like, you screwed up, and goes to take her card. And I say, no, I'm a lady of my word, and hand my card. And she gets confused and she's like, I'm so sorry. Thank you for buying my drinks. But like, why did you do that? And so I explained the situation of like, well, like I technically was cutting you. You know, I didn't want to do that. Turns out she is one of the marketing directors for Funimation. And her boyfriend was next up to DJ. You never know who you're gonna meet. You literally never know who you're gonna meet. Her and I and the boyfriend have become like Instagram friends. I'm hoping we'll see them again at this next AX. It really truly, it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's those mini small encounters, and it's about kind of just putting yourself out there, learning how to cope with rejection, especially in a networking field, is also very big. Especially if you have something like rejection sensitivity, with like ADHD or anything like that, it can be hard then being up for putting yourself into a position where someone could reject you. I just always view it as, if someone ends up rejecting me off my networking pitch, or from the little that they would know from me in that pitch, they're probably not someone I want to work with anyways. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I just don't take it personally, because if they didn't want to work with me and we did work together, we wouldn't create something great. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it would show in the things that we make together. So I only want to work with people who are positive and passionate.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly have tried. Like, I actually had a networking meeting of sorts with this gaming peripheral company that I met and spoke with at PAX East. And I'm assuming they don't want to maybe work with me, so I'm just not really paying any mind to it, because they haven't gotten back to me since the little video meeting that we had.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's whatever. I mean,
maybe that's the case, but you know, you got to do that. And so that's always one of those things that, like, the next time you bump in to any of those people from there, you don't even have to be like, oh, you didn't accept me or something. Just be like, oh yeah, I tried out for the position. Like, how is everything going? You know what I mean? Be like real upbeat about it, and just take interest in them. I think a lot of the things that I really hate about
Yeah.
the business sphere style of networking is people forget to be personal behind that. Like, everyone is a person at the end of the day, and while networking can advance us all, I just as well really enjoy getting to meet the person who is doing that job and take genuine interest in that person. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And I
yeah.
feel like that is a key step that is often forgotten because it's networking can often be viewed as how can you serve me? How can I serve you? But don't forget that there's a
Right.
would ever
Right.
think it could.
Yeah, I mean, apparently there was talk at PAX East about, like, after parties, and I would have loved to go to them if my hotel was closer.
After parties are always really interesting because for someone like me with what I do, I personally view after parties as work.
Oh.
Because I need to post that I went out. I need to. A lot of my friends will typically be there, so I just want to go say hi to them. But I also want to meet new people.
Sure.
Usually, an after party is a great way for me to meet a friend of a friend, if that makes sense. And that's my favorite thing about after parties is because you'll invite everyone who's in like your little circle, and every large friend group will have their own little in those friend groups, even
Yeah.
smaller friend groups, and I love that opportunity of getting to meet like that person who's like, oh, this is my boyfriend's brother, you know what I mean, like, oh, that's so great to me. And then you just meet so many different people, but also going to after parties, if you're someone like a cosplayer who's interested in guesting, that's a great way to meet people who work conventions, who work for different companies, and be able to talk about what it is that you do outside of you wearing, an anime waifu costume at the time.
Right. Yeah, I think because really, outside of this show, the only other thing I got is my streamed, which very, very, very tough to stay positive about when I have such a hard time talking to dead air because no one really shows up.
Oh, dead air is yeah, it's really hard, right? Like how do you fill that space? How do you fill the void?
Because I end up not talking most of the time during my stream because
Do
I
you
get focused on the game so much.
do you talk to yourself in general, like when you're home alone?
Sometimes, honestly.
I would recommend increasing it. Get yourself in the habit on your off time of just talking. And I started doing that back when I was first streaming. I found it as a streamer tip on TikTok of someone being like, are you having trouble filling that dead space? This might seem weird, but here's a little way that you can trick your brain into like learning how to do it. I mean, even if you're just talking out what it is you're doing as you're doing it, it can help fill that air. You know what I mean? Get you in that practice.
True.
Also, highly recommend pulling up. I used to, at the very beginning, when I would be a little nervous and not sure how to like guide a conversation, I'd pull up like list with questions that were like hypotheticals that I could ramble on. That would be like, would you rather know this or this? And then I would just play into it as much as I could, if that makes sense, rather than just simply answering the question. Be like, actually, like, what's the good and bads of both sides? Let's dig this question a little deeper. Well, if this, like, say if it's, would you rather know when you die or where you die? Like, oh, okay, well, like, in either case, am I going to know how I die? Like, oh, I won't. Well, then that's going to suck. I don't want to know either of these because then I'll be scared of a location or I'll be scared of it. You know what I mean? Like, really pushing into the question outside of just the simple either or that it is.
Yeah.
Definitely help.
Oh, yeah. I definitely want to try to keep those in mind then. Thank you for that, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also a website called, like, I think it's like Super Brackets or something like that. And it has like generated themes. And it'll be like anime, and then like there'll be like a bunch of different types of anime brackets, and it'll be like a waifu war, and it'll put two characters, and you can just like debate those two characters, and then like keep going through the bracket until the whole bracket's finished.
Oh yeah, like those bracket filters that I see on TikTok.
Yeah, it's exactly like that, and that can give you like a huge conversation filler. You know what I mean? Because it's like 8 on each side, so you're in the end doing like probably, I can't math right now, but like 32 different conversations for one bracket.
Yeah, you really got thrown into that buy panic one. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. That was rude.
It was very rude.
It was rude. When I finished, I was like, you gave me the male and female equivalent of each other. Like this is just rude. This is just I am mad.
Yeah.
And I love Detroit Become Human so much as a game. And I've watched Grey's Anatomy. Like I love that actor. He's gorgeous. And then Zendaya has just always been on my list in general. She's Zendaya. Do I need to say more?
You guys say more. So talk me through any of the cons that you went to so far this year. Like any that really stood out to you, or maybe like describe how the con was in addition to maybe going into the cosplay that you wore to the con.
Yeah, totally.
Because I honestly don't know which one to pick because there's so many that you've done so far. This
Let's
SumiCon.
see. So SumiCon was my first 18 plus con, and that was a lot of fun for a lot of reasons. It was thrown together by friends of mine, acquaintances and friends. It's a mixture, but people that I know, and so I was really excited for that to see kind of like they're all very, how do I put this? They're big dreamers, if that makes sense, in like a great way. Like they have a lot of things they want to do, and oftentimes when they put themselves to it, they accomplish those things. So I was really excited when they started talking about wanting to do this, especially because a lot of the people running it either have their own agency for the kind of guests that you would see at SumiCon. I'm trying to tiptoe around this.
Right.
Or they're in relations with, whether it's friends or dating someone who does that kind of work. So it's kind of by those people for those people. And it was a very welcoming, wholesome, safe environment to be in. I was very happy to be a part of it. Everyone there was incredibly mad respectful. Consent was king. It was great. The after parties were fantastically put together. Even though the big after party they had set for Saturday, the location canceled on them last minute, so they had to move it, which I felt so bad for them because it was nothing they did wrong. It was everything that the location did wrong. The location didn't technically have a license that allowed serving alcohol and dancing, even though they knew that it was specifically a DJ after party. With a request for a bar tab, and there was going to be live music. They were like, "Oh, well, you can have a DJ, you just can't dance." And they were like, "You're gonna expect people to not dance?
We're just gonna sit there."
And they told them 3 days before the event, so it was not their fault. They handled it like champs. They found a different location to host it at. It was held at. Oh my god! It was like this bar down in the kind of like Fremont Arts area, and they made the best out of the situation that they could. I applaud them for that. So that was a really good con. And then honestly, I really enjoyed WeebCon. It was held at a Gaylord, so immediately your brain goes like Katsucon, right? And it has an atrium, but my god, the Katsucon's Gaylord has nothing on the Texas Gaylord. Okay, nothing. That atrium is so much bigger, so much prettier. There's more waterfalls, ponds, plants. It's so much more spread out.
Really?
Like, there's an upstairs and a downstairs to it. Like, it is just gorgeous. And the attendees at WeebCon were some of the most wholesome, wonderful people. I had people who would come by the booth and make multiple jokes. Like, we'd have days running inside jokes. They were amazing. It really just kind of brought back that kind of nostalgia feeling of like baby's first con, of like making friends and whatnot. And just a really good, wholesome crowd. Shout out to Alley Cat, I believe, cosplay, who she's a cosplayer, put together a bunch of dioramas for other cosplayers to take photos in. They were gorgeous. They were a lot of fun. So on top of having the atrium, then you also had that spot, which was really cool.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. What cosplay did you wear for either of those cons?
So for SumiCon, I did Poison from Street Fighter on Sunday. I wore a succubus Ganyu on Saturday and a succubus Evelyn KDA all out. It's an 18 plus con, so they were
Quite.
They were strings. So I'm just gonna say it was more
boy.
rather than a costume. It was like colored strings that matched the character. And then, like I said, WeebCon. So I drove from Sumi from Vegas all the way back to Dallas with a gigantic cargo truck full of stuff. It was 44 hours of driving total, 22 each way. My Jean Marie does not drive, so it was all me. My back was killing me by the end of it. Definitely complained about it the entire time. So apologies to anyone with me because I was letting everyone know I was exhausted. But then I decided I really didn't get any photos of Poison. SumiCon, so I brought Poison because at first I wasn't sure I was going to stay for SumiCon, so I brought Poison to Dallas. Ended up ordering a bunny suit as I was headed to Dallas from Phoenix. So that was bunny suit Eula that I wore. And then my G Marie lent me her Albedo outfit, and so I wore that. But that one I want to do a full shoot in. The wig was a little bit tangled and I couldn't find a wig brush. And like I said, I wasn't originally planning on going to this convention, so I didn't have one on me. So I didn't really take many photos in it, but I have it here with me. I want to do a full shoot of her because I was surprised how many people still love her. It made me so happy.
Yeah, that's great. So you said that you got a couple big builds coming out, especially towards like the 3-week gap you mentioned between ASIN and AX. Did I get that right?
Yeah, so, yeah. Between ACON and AX. But yeah.
Too many animes.
I'm planning on hopefully having something Trigger Studios related. I've got 2 costumes in question that are Trigger Studios related. Okay. One of which I've kind of lightly talked about. It's Kamina. I really want to do. My friend Momo Carino is going to be debuting her Yoko Littner that she's been working on for a couple years. She's been wanting to remake it.
Yeah.
And Kamina is one of my all-time favorite anime protagonists. I quote his "Believe in the me that believes in you" all the time, especially when I have friends who are down, because it is such a motto to live by.
I'm
you know, like
sure
when you
can't believe in me.
Oh yeah, when you can't believe in yourself, that's totally fine. I feel like we all get there. So then believe in me who believes in you, because you believe you would trust me. You know what I mean? I love that. Yeah. And then possibly something panty and stocking related. We're trying to narrow down exactly who and what outfit, but I think we've got something picked out. Nice. And then I'm just trying to pick out what I want to do for the final day. And then I've got another big shoot planned in the works, like the succubus shoot we did last year.
Nice. So from what I gathered, anime seems to be your big forte in terms of what you draw and cosplay from. Would you say that's mostly true, or do you like to try to do
It used to be a lot of comic books when I did more comic conventions. I've just been doing more anime conventions. I try to wear a costume that is on theme with
you play into the theme. Okay.
Focus of that convention, if that makes sense. And because I've been running more anime cons, it's been more anime video game related. But I love comic book characters. I love Star Wars characters. Love Disney characters. When I am at conventions more tailored to those, I wear those.
Okay. Any sort of dream cosplay or like dream build that you'd love to try and tackle at some point, what you already did?
Anja Woman or Devamon. Either or. Honestly, I think they're so hot. I love the wings. They're simplistic in the actual outfit that you'd be wearing, but because there's so much to it,
outside of just the bodysuit, it makes it visually impactful. It's nostalgic. It's, if I could, I would.
Yeah. And you try to stream pretty regularly. That's been going well so far for you?
Playing around with stream times, just trying to figure out something that'll kind of gather a wider viewership, if that makes sense. Not doing everything at the same time. And then just playing around with how I want to stream. I was streaming video games for a while when I first moved here, and I had a lot of fun with it, but to be truthful, it did kind of suck the joy out of playing video games. And I noticed that the times I was enjoying video games were when I would sneak off and play them on my own. And so I'm kind of switching it to more just chatting streams for right now. Not saying I won't ever play video games on there, but just trying to reclaim the love of something.
No, I get
you know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
And I've been enjoying it a lot more, I'm going to be honest with you. And so I know that we all played Jedi Fallen Order together, but I think, I hate to break people's hearts, I think I'm going to go off and play it on my own on my PS5. And if it comes down the line that people really want me to replay it, then I would totally replay it for people who want to watch it. But I think I just need to pull that one back for myself if I'm going to really enjoy it.
I would just told have your game that you want to stream, but then also have your video game that you play in your off time.
Oh, because it's big.
Legit, like, streaming was the only time I played video games, and it really hit me when someone said that when I was playing through Persona 4 Golden, that game is a fucking nightmare to stream. Because it's half the time it's just talking. And, like, either you're listening to voice actors or I can't do every voice. No. It's... So, and then I just really started to hate playing it. So then when I played it off stream, I enjoyed it a lot more. So that's definitely the plan I'm doing for, like, I'll stream Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm definitely going to play on my off time too. Because a lot of that's going to be me running around and fucking around and messing around with the gameplay and building crap and seeing what happens. But yeah. Because I've also been trying to play more of my Switch in handheld mode to really take advantage of the pretty little OLED screen that it has now.
Hello?
Can
you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you mind if I just grab a water real quick?
Yeah, go for it. Okay. And I will... Well, I mean, if you're listening on stream, you have delightful Persona 5 music in the background. Pardon the slight pause, everybody.
All right, I'm back. So sorry about that.
That's all right.
What's the next question?
God, I knew I should have been thinking of other stuff because I'm looking at my notes. Literally just. Well, I'm getting slightly distracted by the background music I have in my head right now. Well, is there any kind of topic that you want to discuss? Or anything that kind of popped into your head while we were talking about all of this?
Yeah, when talking about, like, networking, right?
Sure, we can go back to that. Yeah,
because I think a big thing to look out for is people's intentions.
Yeah.
There are always going to be those who are trying to gain a system or use a system, use you, use your friends, or something. Those people exist. They're always out there. For me personally, I'm always just trying to create, honestly, just really nerdy, fun, positive content. And I look for others that want to just do the same, who are advocators for their community and are people who want to try to create safety and happiness for those who enjoy the same things as them. And if your intentions are not that, I do not mess with you. And I don't recommend other people messing with people who are out just for numbers, just for fame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that really bothered me when I look at, you know, there are certain creators that I follow that almost a lot of times they just can't stop talking about numbers or like how well the video performed, how much views it got, and that really just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I mean, I've definitely given up on worrying about numbers, particularly when it comes to streaming, because I used to back then when I first started, and it would bother the heck out of me. It would really get myself down, and it honestly, I'm just trying to be the best sort of person where I want to give people a chance, I guess, to be like, you know, to be like a guest on the show or like trying to reach out to other people, but then I certainly get in my own head when, especially for like this string of episodes where, you know, leading up to episode 100, and I want to try to get some of the bigger, well-known cosplayers or content creators out there to, like, you know, be a guest on the show or at least one episode. And I will very seldom to pretty much get no response. And then that just, I'll get into my head thinking, well, of course they don't want to be in the show, on my show. I'm not popular enough. I'm not bringing in the numbers. Like, that's, I really get into my head about that kind of stuff.
I mean, I think that is the perfect example of imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? Like, yourself inputting those thoughts. Like, they haven't said that to you.
Yeah.
Those are just what the big, nasty, bad brain days are like.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important when you get into those thoughts that you realize that, like, that is something that you're thinking. It's not necessarily what they're thinking. And to not necessarily let that hold you back from attempting again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I certainly, you know, I'll try to reach out again, maybe a couple weeks, months down the road, and then, you know, maybe I'll get a response, or maybe it's just the process repeats itself. So, yeah, I'm, even with all the good news I've had recently, I'm still insanely down on myself all the time. So, ugh.
Hi, Talia. Sorry, I have a very happy cat.
Yeah.
Hi.
I can hear mine purring, making noises. Well, I mean, like, I guess you essentially have given, because I was about to ask them, like, how do you deal with imposter syndrome? But I guess you kind of just said that or explained.
Oh,
that.
I mean, imposter syndrome, we all handle it differently, right? Like, I get imposter syndrome a ton, especially once all my socials got deleted multiple times. You know, it's hard not to, like, get down on yourself for that.
Oh God, yeah. Uh-huh.
But it's a matter of understanding what is based in reality and what is not. And sometimes it's hard to be self-actualizing like that. But being able to determine what is just in my head versus what is actually a consistent pattern, and then realizing what is and isn't controllable. You know what I mean? Like, so say if I'm having imposter syndrome because my socials aren't growing as fast as they once were. Okay. So that might be true. They're not growing, but, like, let's look at why. Am I doing what the algorithm wants right now, or am I sticking to what the algorithm used to do? Am I actually putting as much effort and time into it as I used to, or am I just hoping that like viability will happen to hit? And so it's just about taking accountability and then working with yourself at a pace that you can handle. Because if you overwork yourself and get overzealous, you'll just enter burnout, and then the burnout will cue another imposter syndrome. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Anything else?
Well, one thing that did pop into my head was I wanted to circle back. And then you mentioned the giant content creator trip that seems to happen like once a year with the same group of people. Like what go well so what goes into that? Like I imagine it's a lot of planning and like giant group chats of threads.
Yeah.
Or
So
like,
it's interesting. It's literally there's like there's this weird
Misconception because there are content like big name content creators on the trip that it's like an exclusive invite or something like that. No, it's just a bunch of friends. We just happen to all be friends, and
right.
there were just yearly trips that it used to be like 20 people went, and just more people got invited. Like, hey, me and my friends do this. You want to come? To the point where now it's like 50 or 60 people big.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and so because it's so big and a bunch of us tend to do some sort of content creation while we're all there, we're like, why not try and take photos? Like how often do we get to see each other except at cons and things like this? But rather than it being a con where like maybe someone's guesting or someone's vending or someone's doing this or that, we're just friends hanging out so we can do as much as we want. They're a lot of fun, but outside of the content, we have a really good balance of making sure that we're having friend time as well. This past year, someone wanted to do a Kigu party. Mira wanted to do a Kigu party, and I suggested, what if we did like a pillow fort, kind of made it like a sleepover, and we tried to build a pillow fort. So people came in their Kigus. We had a rule. You could steal pillows and blankets from all around the house, but they were not allowed to be pillows or blankets from beds, because I didn't want anyone being like, where the fuck is my pillow? You know what I mean? Trying to go to bed later.
Yeah.
You could use whatever you wanted. You had 30 minutes, and we built one of the craziest blanket pillow forts I've ever been in. We had like ladders and like it was covering an entire couch. It had LED rope lights, like the gamer RGB lights in it. Mira brought down tarot cards and candy so we could make our own candy bracelets and Polaroid cameras. And while we were putting it up, I decided, let's put it up on the couch that we're currently having karaoke at. Because, like, whistle while you work, you know what I mean? Like, we'll get people to sing. And it ended up being a karaoke night for the fort. Like, we just built the karaoke into it. And then we started watching not hentai. So those animes that fan service a little too hard, like interspecies reviewer, things like that.
Okay.
It was great. That was hosted by Stella, which was amazing. And it was a ton of fun. So it's just a group of friends who have met over the years at con, who just are psychotic in the sense that we believe we can all see each other, so let's do it. And we make it work.
Yeah.
Via the power of Discord.
Yeah. Oh man, I yeah, part of me would love to be a part of something like that. I don't know, because I mean, like, it just sucks that like I only see like people like you, like friends like you, once in a blue moon if we happen to go to the same con together. Because like,
I mean, like that's the whole reason we kind of created this friend group that travels. You know what I mean? So it's all about just like creating it. I guess I don't want to be like creating it in your own circle, but like that's how this started. Like we're a group of friends. Like the Vegas trip that we do it started just because there are a couple of people who have birthdays around the same time, and they like to go to Vegas. And so it used to just be, I think, about 10 or 15 of them. And then a bunch of the other friends were like, hey, I could go to Vegas for a weekend. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's all it was.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's something I want to try. If not this year, maybe next. Just to travel and see convention friends more outside of meeting at the convention itself, because I'm going to definitely like less and less now at the moment, just due
I feel.
to life and whatnot.
Any other questions?
Honestly, I think that's all I got. Truthfully,
Okay. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. This has been a blast.
Yeah. I really hope you had fun.
Yeah, definitely did.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this episode or watching it live. If you did, over on Twitch, Anya, where can people go if they want to find your stuff?
All the socials, man, like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, pretty much everything. If you just Google Anya Braddock, you'll find it. I've had my stuff go down a couple times, so there's random usernames for some of them. Like I think Twitter is Belfie Braddock, but if you Google it, it all comes up.
You'll find it if you know where to look. Yeah, you can follow me over at Blue Lightning Cost on Twitter, Instagram.
Heck yeah!
I'm trying to use TikTok a little more. Trying. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how anyone does it. I just look at it.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and I don't have the time.
It's a lot. Yeah.
I don't.
People are always surprised how long it actually takes.
Oh no, I feel
like there's a new social almost like.
God, I don't even want
new social wave like every couple of years, and with Instagram and Twitter being on the outs, I'm just excited to see what's coming up next. I have a weird feeling that people are going to go back to Tumblr. I don't know.
Well, I tried Tumblr once and I could never get into it, so nope. No for me. Yeah, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, same for me. Hopefully stay tuned for more episodes of Cosplay Bites. Hopefully within either the later half of this month or into June, because I know I've got a couple people planned. So please stay tuned. I hope you guys had fun, and I will see you guys all next time.